The first thing I've been talking to people about is obviously how we all know each other, which is RSOC. I joined RSOC in about 2013. When did you join?
It would have been within a week or two of you, I'm pretty sure. Because I had been playing just with randos in Battlefield 4, and this would have been shortly after, like a couple months after it came on the Xbox One, because I waited to get it till I got the One. And
smart move.
There's this this crazy Scotsman that I ran into a couple of times, and I got an invite from, I think, Ravi, and I was like really flattered that
yeah,
these guys actually want me to play with them. This is so cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, it's funny. That's been the answer for everyone. Is Battlefield 4 solidified the community?
Absolutely. That was our origin story.
If you were to describe to somebody, because people will be watching this that aren't part of RSOC, I hope. If you were to describe RSOC to somebody, how would you describe it?
When we're gaming, it's an equal amount of just like having fun, messing around, trolling each other, and getting really serious about whatever game we're playing.
Yeah.
But to me, honestly, my favorite part at this point is outside of gaming. Like, it's really just blossomed into like a community of generally like-minded people, and there's some pretty cool guys in there, interesting people, and it's nice to have them to like talk to about anything, like food, politics, like, and then also whatever Battlefield we're playing at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I love how niche it can be as well, like stupid memes about a very specific thing, and like obviously memes. And obviously with the Battlefield 2042 stuff, Discord community has kind of exploded, and it's been interesting because I was obviously there when it was Reddit, and then it was Slack, and then it was finally Discord, where I feel like we've kind of found our home a little bit here, and it's been really interesting for me being in a different country to 99.5% of the members that are in the community, and it's weird. And I've noticed how late some people are up, because I'm like, hang on, isn't it like 4 or 5 a.m?
Yeah, that's why we played all the time back in Battlefield 4, because at the time, like, I would play like before dinner, so I wouldn't play after 9 o'clock because like I couldn't sleep because I was like getting old. So I would be playing at like 5:30, 6 o'clock my time, and you were still at uni, so you were up until all hours.
Still kind of am, I'll be honest. It's a bit different now though because of where we're living, but I think for sure I'll probably end up being on late again with the new title and things like that, and trying to regroup with RSOC a little bit.
That's the other thing I really like about RSOC is it doesn't matter what game you're playing, you will be able to find a couple guys to do it.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and that's what's nice is that, as you say, we've all got similar interests, but we've also got in that a branch of games that we all play and jump on with, or for me, if you play something like Halo, if you jump into Halo, you expect to see Ravi and Shoji somewhere running around, headshotting people as they do.
And I know I could always get a squad for Rainbow Six if I want to torture myself.
Yeah, if you wanted to hit your head off a wall multiple times. That was my religion.
I usually jump in with the guys, I'll jump in with the guys who play that like once every like 8 weeks just to stay on top of my game.
What was your first Battlefield title that you played?
It was Battlefield 3. I was originally a Halo player. Like way back, Halo CE, like the original Halo. That was the reason I got an Xbox to begin with. I was a little bit of a PC gamer, but not big into anything, and that was my first console. So I was playing Halo a lot. Then Modern Warfare came out, switched to that for a while, and I stuck with Call of Duty for a while, and it was just so frustrating. It got so frustrating and unfun, and they changed everything I actually really liked about those games, which it's fine. I mean, the franchise has done phenomenally well, but it's just not for me. It stopped being for me at a certain point. Went back to Halo a little bit with Reach, Halo 4, but it was okay. It wasn't. I enjoyed the storyline, but it wasn't super for me either at that point. And then I just popped into like a local game shop that I like to support, and I was like, I just needed something new. And I was just talking to the guys, and they're like, you should check out Battlefield 3. I'm like, oh, okay. And I picked it up, and I remember I played like the demo for it and immediately got headshotted It wasn't even a full round I played. I bought the games. It was like at the end of its life cycle by that point. I really liked it. It was a blast. It was they told me it was more realistic than COD. Played it for like an afternoon. And I was like, you know what? I love this. And that was my first Battlefield.
Was that the same title in the franchise that made you really fall in love with the Battlefield franchise?
3 got me into the franchise, certainly, and kept me coming back. But I think what really made me, like, you could say fall in love with it, was playing with RSOC, specifically on Battlefield 4. It was just the experience, because we would have like 2 to 3 squads in every server that we would play on. There was somebody who was good at any single thing, any single role in that game.
I mean, we had the #1 LAV driver in North America, was it in the world? Octocore that we used to play all the time. And that was amazing. I used to gun for him. That used to be all I would do when he came online, was just sit in his gunner position and just listen to what he was doing. That's really how I learned how to drive LAVs, was being in the gun position.
Oh, same thing. Just watching him. It was incredible. Same thing with like helicopters, just watching some of the guys, how they fly helicopters. I got good at tanks doing the same thing.
We loved those tanks, man.
The tank of
Doom. We figured it out.
Do you remember like that one year for my birthday, you made like this drawing?
Yeah, I made that drawing. I found that the other day.
Yes!
If you're watching this on YouTube, I'm going to find that image and I'll put it up on the screen so you can see what he's talking about.
I can't wait.
It's so funny. And it got to the point where I learned tanks, you learned tanks. We just started asking for gunners, and then we just eventually had every tank on. I remember Gulmud once, where we had a squad of, actually, it wasn't a squad of tanks, it was a squad of suicide jeeps. I remember that.
We definitely had both of them.
5 of us. It's suicide jeeps just driving across Gulmud Railway, like, just, oh man.
I remember with 4 we would figure out the perfect opening moves for every map, and probably 1 out of every 2 or 3 games we would be able to either destroy and or steal all of the enemy's vehicles in like the first minute and a half.
The stealing, like especially in the sort of early days when people didn't really understand the ramifications of abandoning a vehicle, and suddenly your team has 7 tanks and the other team has none. It's just, I think I know the answer to this already, and this is where you can go up your hill, stand on your hill.
Oh boy.
What is your favorite title in the Battlefield franchise, and why?
Bro. I had a vision, a dream for my perfect game, like the platonic ideal of a first-person shooter video game, and it involved large numbers of players, interesting maps, vehicles, both ground and air, and it was set in World War I. And I thought, like, I would lay, like, when I couldn't fall asleep, I would just think about this game, and I would design and play this game in my head, and I'd eventually fall asleep. And oh my god, it was made, it existed, and it's called Battlefield 1. And I just, the energy in at that time it was a Slack board, when we were watching that release was, oh my god, it was amazing. That game, it was truly everything I could have wanted. It was my perfect game, and will probably always be my favorite game, even if I never pick it up again. It had everything, and they even had a Russian Civil War expansion. I mean that was pretty amazing, to be fair. You can't ask for more. Cannot ask for more.
I feel like you taught me a lot of that game. I feel like I was a bit slow on the uptake with that game in terms of knowing what to do and how to do it. I'd just jump in a server with you and you'd be like, right, we need to do these 3 things, and I'm done. Okay, let's do those 3 things. Sure enough, we'd win. So
it really like back in like when Battlefield 4 came out, like my KD was like probably like a 0.9. I got it up over a 1, clawed it up to like 1.5 by the end of that. And then Battlefield 1 came out, and everything about it, the movement, the gunplay, the weapons, it all just clicked for me. And instantly I was at like a 3. Like the first day, I was like, yep, I've mastered this. Let's do it. Let's go. It was so good.
Frontlines that didn't have a timer. That was amazing. Where you play a game that would take 3 hours. I was like, there's actual battle fatigue happening to us as we're playing this. We're actually getting tired from this and making mistakes.
For a couple of 2-hour long Frontlines matches where I was legitimately shell-shocked. You'd get the same thing when you'd have a really good operations that would go back and forth just for the absolute maximum amount of time, and it would finish, and you're just drained. That's how you know it's a good game.
Every time you lost one of those matches, it was like, well, we've got to do another one now. Like, it was.
And you could never quite tell how long they would take, because it would be like, oh yeah, we could do an operation and it'd be like 20 minutes, or it could be like close to 2 hours, and that's difficult on your married life sometimes, actually.
Yeah. What do you like about Battlefield as a franchise, as a whole? If someone was like, why do you play Battlefield? What is it you like about it?
I really appreciate the scale. It's something that's very difficult to pull off, especially on smaller, more infantry-focused maps when you have 64, or I guess now 100-something players all converging on a single location. It can get really clumsy. They do a good job of making it work and making it interesting and exciting. I'm sure a lot of people will probably say something about, like, you know, those Battlefield moments. So those are fantastic. Yeah. You can just assume that every one of us is gonna say that. But actually, this is an answer that maybe a lot of other people won't have. I really appreciate the gun balance. If you look at Battlefield 1, Battlefield 4, the balance was very, very finely tuned.
Let's talk about Battlefield 2042, shall we? What did you think? Let's just start with a broad one. What did you think about the things that you saw?
My very first reaction was pretty much the polar opposite of my reaction to 5. As you remember, we talked about 1, absolutely blown away. DICE just has a way with trailers usually. And in 5, I was just let down by that trailer. It just did not deliver in the way that it should have, and it was really relieving and refreshing to see that back again for 2042 for the trailer. I mean, any individual thing about the game aside, that trailer worked. It grabbed me in a way that the last one just didn't. So right there, I'm interested. I want to see some more. And we said before, like, you and I both love the historical stuff, the historical guns and settings and everything. But it would be really fun to be able to get into a helicopter again and to do that. It'll be really fun to have the verticality back that we had in 4. Those things together, I'm gonna check it out just for that, just to see that.
Is there anything in particular that you'd love to know more about? Obviously, we've talked a bit about vehicles, but is there anything else that you'd like to see?
As far as seeing, I am curious about the weapon attachments and unlocks. I have, I think, a very, very different opinion from a lot of people. There were a bunch of unlocks in Battlefield 4, and there did not need to be. Many of them were completely pointless. You did not need to unlock 5 different red dot sights for a sniper rifle. There's no point in that existing. The flashlight tool was completely worthless, and it was doubly worthless because there was a better version of the same tool that you also could unlock. And then with Battlefield 1, they completely got rid of that, and everybody felt like there was no customization. It was horrible, but really what they did was they broke out the 2 or 3 best combinations of attachments, and they made those, air quotes, different weapons. So I much preferred that because everything worked and it had its exact defined role. Like, I'm really curious to see how that works. A lot of games now, the unlocks are all cosmetic and stuff. Like, anything you unlock in Apex or Hunt or even PUBG or anything like that, that's all cosmetic. Everybody has a very even playing field when they start out. So I want to see how that works in 2042. Hopefully they can give people a lot of options, a lot of customization, but keep those closely defined roles, both for the, what are they called, operators in this one? Specialists, yeah, the classes, really. Both for the classes and the guns.
How do you feel about the plus system, the ability to switch off attachments during a firefight?
I feel like it is going to... It's going to advantage PC players because they'll be able to manipulate those menus much quicker than a console player would, but I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I would like to add that to the previous question. I'm very curious to see how that plays out. Because obviously if you go in and you have all of your guns tooled to like long range and stuff, and it's fog, you're useless this round, like, that's not fun. So you'd want to be able to change that, but you also don't want to be pushing a sniper, and then suddenly they're a close range fighter, and you're like, what the hell happened? So that's going to be the line they have to thread there. They need to make it so that it can still be, it still works in the rock paper scissors.
With the release in October, what have you been playing as a first person shooter? I mean, I know it's Hunt, but is there anything else you will be playing because the new game's coming out at all?
I might try to pick up Battlefield 1 again. Run through that.
No.
Yeah. Just to kind of get back into the flow of Battlefield. I have already started watching more Battlefield videos on YouTube, even if I'm not playing it, because I can watch Battlefield 4 all day long. I just can't do it anymore. It's gonna be that's always so hard for me switching. I can't switch from game to game. I am so bad at it. I'm a one game kind of guy, and
but then you get really good at that game. Yeah,
I do. Yeah. But yeah, I can't switch back. Like for a little while, a very brief while, I was able to go from like Rainbow like one night a week to Battlefield 1 the other 5 or 6 nights, and it made me such a better player. Like just such an improvement. But the problem is every game's sensitivity settings are a little bit different. It's 2021. How the hell do we not have a console-wide option for that yet?
That's the problem, is being on console, is because all the aim assist settings and whatever else are all slightly different. We don't have that universal thing that you can do with a mouse, where you can, all right, my DPI is this, I'm going to set it as this in all my games.
Exactly. For anybody who doesn't know, the best way to set your sensitivity on a console game is to load into test server, empty server, whatever, and pick a point either to your left or right, and try to just not snap to it, but like fling your cursor towards that. And if you overshoot it, your sensitivity is a little bit too high. If you undershoot it, your sensitivity is a little bit too low. That's it.
There you go. That's a pro tip right there. That's free of charge. Pro tip. Cool. So this is more or less all the questions that I've got for you today. I have been doing a section at the end for everyone where they can plug themselves. Now, Ravi and Shoji stream. You don't stream, but is there any platform that you have that you want to shout out that people can find you if they want to find you or follow what you do day today?
I'm on Twitter, but I don't talk about games there.
There you go.
I wish I could stream.
Talk about coins, though.
Talk about old coins all the time, yeah. I wish I could stream, and more power to anybody who can, but I cannot carry on a conversation and play a game. I can barely handle the callouts.
I mean, that's fair. That is absolutely fair.
I'll just plug Ravi and Shoji again.
Okay, there you go. Follow them on Twitch with the same usernames. But RD, thank you so much for your time. It's been great to chat.
This has been a blast, yeah.